Buckle up, Buttercup. Live from Gloucester, Massachusetts. Podcasting around the world. You're listening to the GloucesterCast podcast, a production of Joey Shimataro and Good Morning Gloucester Media. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the show with your host, Joey Shimataro, and his crew of merry castaways. No piping plovers will be intentionally harmed in the production of this podcast.
Good morning, Gloucester. We are here with an illustrious cast today.
Oh, big cast.
Big. Barry Pett, first time on the podcast?
It is.
First time on the podcast. Legendary Barry Pett and Ringo Tarr. Ringo Tarr, you've been on.
I've been on.
Yeah. So you've answered the podcast virgin questions. He hasn't.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
So we have a couple questions for you. And we have a surprise.
As long as there's no charge on it, it's okay.
No charge. No. And we have a surprise guest coming up. Jimmy Dalpiaz is manning the buttons.
Good morning, Gloucester.
And we have On Point Pat with the manning the chat session over there. And look, already we have a couple comments. My beautiful wife Kate's with us. Phil and Lynn Scannell, Wayne, the sexy famous mailman, has joined us. I see the numbers are just popping right up. They saw Ringo and they saw Barry and they said, "Okay, we have to tune in. We have got to tune in."
Well, I know that's why Phil and Lynn did.
Yeah, that's right. But we have a really special guest coming up. That's a teaser. In the business, we call that a teaser, Jimmy. Right? Can't say it. Don't say it. But everybody that's a fan of the Fiesta, you have to stay tuned because in about 10, 15 minutes, we're going to bring them on stage. And everybody, it's a big honor, big treat for us. Big honor to have you guys as well. This is your time to shine. I know you. Listen, Ringo, you both do a tremendous amount of work for the city year-round.
Yes.
But this is one of the big ones.
Yes.
You who wants to take it off first? Why don't you take it off first?
You want me to take it up
Yeah.
first? Okay. July 3rd, down on the Boulevard. This will be our 15th year putting on a concert down on the Boulevard. It all started out just to have some entertainment between the parade and the fireworks so people would have something to do. And it's just grown every year.
Yeah. Can you announce who the act is going to be this year?
Yeah, it's believe it or not, for 15 years we've had the same band opening act and final act actually. The Runaround, it used to be the Runaround Sound, now it's the Runaround with Carlos, and does a fantastic job. He just takes over. I just let him know what's happening, and he takes it from there.
Local talent.
Yeah. And they do it.
Yes.
They get the crowd
Yes.
going.
Oh,
you couldn't.
definitely,
I don't know if you
definitely.
could have had a more perfect act for that particular scene.
Yeah.
They know the crowd. They
Yes.
know. They just
Yeah.
put on a
Yeah.
show.
And this year here we're having a younger group, a bunch of students called Kicked Off the Bus. And they're getting very popular around the city, and I'm honored to have them there, and I think they'll have a great time.
That's the Blatchford kid.
Yeah.
That's Dana Blatchford's son.
Yeah.
And he's got pipes on.
Oh, yeah.
He does Queen. Remember we had him on the
I'm here
podcast
when I
here.
was younger.
Yeah. Very tight.
Yeah.
And like when he goes to Minglewood and plays,
Right.
it's a sellout
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, he's
great.
great. Yeah.
You're bringing them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, glad to have them. I like having new bands all the time. When I do the Labor Day show, I try and get different bands that aren't always in Gloucester or not always performing, and they just love coming down there.
Have you incorporated the light show with it? Because that's a lot of fun.
Well, we used to. I have a professional lighting company come in and does a show, which is a step above a lot of shows around here. And then we started a laser show a while back, and we've taken a break because it was getting kind of tiresome, the laser show every year. So we have something new this year, and you haven't seen this yet.
No.
I'm going to turn it on, and
Breaking news right here.
we'll be handing these out. Let's see if I can get. There we go.
There you go. On Point Pat.
Yeah. We'll be handing these out as the people sit around and it starts to get dark. I have 400 of them to hand out to the crowd, and they're coordinated with the music. They only work with the music and the show. And
Oh,
it all
my
came about because my daughter went to a Bruins game and she got handed a bracelet. Didn't know what it was about. And all of a sudden, the garden just lit up with doing all kinds of stuff. And she came back to me. She goes, "We got to do this. We got to do this." Down the boulevard. I said, "Sounds great to me." And so I did some research and stuff, found out. And at the coronation for the king and queen, they had a concert on the final night, and they handed them out there to everyone, and it was just unbelievable how many were there and how bright it was. And
Now,
everything.
you said you're going to hand them out, so they're not going to be for cost.
No, they're free.
Right,
But-
but got to get them back.
Right, stipulation: they'll only work at that concert.
Yeah.
So I need to get them back so we can do it again on Labor Day.
Yeah.
And if you know you're definitely coming back on Labor Day, you can keep it. But
Yeah.
I asked because they're pretty expensive to buy, and I
Sure.
really like to get them back so we can use them continuously through the years.
Yeah.
But,
So I would hold off on handing them out until like just before it gets dark.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
We'll actually wait till it's just about
'Cause
dark and
Kids
everyone's
will be like,
there.
"I want one." It's like
Yeah.
5:00 in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
like,
Off they
"Don't
go,
want
and
it."
they
and,
go.
and it's not going to do anything. It's just going to sit there. This particular model I have is a little bit different. This one works anytime, but these aren't the ones.
That
They're
are-
identical to it, but they're
Right.
different
They're
technology.
synced up.
Yeah, they're synced up with the
That's
sound.
gonna be a
Oh
blast.
yeah, it should be good.
What a
Should
show!
be good. Something
Well,
different.
behind the scenes, both of his daughters do all sorts of work
Oh yes.
on his concerts for us, and the fireworks, everything.
Yeah.
They're behind the scenes. You don't see
What's
them.
their names? Because we should give them a
Elizabeth
shout out.
Elizabeth Luong and Emily Oliver.
There you go.
Elizabeth's down in New Jersey. She kind of handles the internet stuff, down there, and then she'll be up for the third with her granddaughter Hannah.
Such a
yeah,
tremendous.
Yeah.
It's one of those Gloucester events, top 5 event.
Oh, yeah.
Right there every single year. It's so much fun. And Barry, can you tell us a little bit about the
Well,
fireworks?
I will tell you that, again, this is my 33rd year of doing all the Gloucester fireworks, and I did about the last 10 years of the St. Peter's Fiesta fireworks. And this year we are celebrating our 400th anniversary. We do all our fundraising together between the fireworks and the concerts for both the 3rd of July and the Labor Day time. And I don't know if people have seen, but in the last year, the cost of fireworks in the United States has gone up 34%. Okay. And we always try to do a better show than the year before. And this year is obviously our 400th. And some people had wanted us to kick off like on New Year's. And I just said, it's just not the venue that time of year or whatever. But we've had some support from the Gloucester 400th. And this show, this fireworks display will be the largest one that I've done since the 375th anniversary show. That's how large it will be. And I want to make sure anybody that's listening, don't tell your fur baby dogs that I'm the one that does the fireworks. But at the same time, if you do have a dog, especially if it's a dog that's bothered by fireworks, this display is going to be the loudest display that's probably ever actually occurred north of Boston.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay,
Yeah.
give you an idea.
Fair warning.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Fair warning. Protect your dog. Take them inside. If you need to get something from the vet or whatever, just be aware. I mean, the thing that bothers most of them are the salutes. You see the flash and then you hear the boom.
Right.
Well, on top of what is normally in our show, there will be an additional 400 salutes. I won't say where, but in this show, there will be an additional 400 salutes alone.
Wow.
So in this
Wow.
show, normally I try to keep the shows down to 20 to 25 minutes total, because you can start maybe losing it. But I think this show is going to go more than half an hour, and people will be all excited. And we're still, again, fundraising is an issue for us all the way around. If people go on either the Gloucester Fireworks Facebook page or the Concerts on the Boulevard Facebook page or the GloucesterFund.org, there's ways to go ahead and donate either by PayPal or Venmo. And for that matter, people want
So Pat just put up a link. If you're watching on Facebook,
Okay.
whatever, you can click that link when the podcast ends, or you can click on it now, actually, and that will bring you to the page where you can actually donate and help contribute.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You know, we're almost covered for a week from today, but then we got a long way to go to get to Labor Day. But again, just as with the concerts, this is all totally free to everyone to enjoy.
Such an amazing outpouring of it's what makes one of the things that makes Gloucester very special, and it's a lot of times the people that are behind the scenes, you're working all year long. And
I think that's what's make it really special is the work. We're looking at two of you right here, but you just said how many people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, and Barry, you probably have a long list of people.
Just for this show, I think the crew, from what I'm looking at now, is 18 people.
Wow. I mean, this is just to make all this happen.
Yeah.
And wow.
And we get tremendous support also from the DPW, the police, the fire department, and the harbor master's office. From the city side, they give us great help. But it takes a lot to put stuff.
So what's the timeline? Give us a timeline on the 3rd.
The concert will start about 5:30, and I'm assuming kicked off the bus will be the opening act. Yep. And we'll go to the parade, reaches us on the boulevard when it leaves the high school. Yep. And then we break for the parade to go by. We wait till it gets down to the fisherman's statue, then we start up again. And with any kind of luck, we kind of coordinate exactly when Barry's lighting up the first show.
That's at 9:30.
Right.
Now, realize that obviously, say the Horribles Parade, many of the bands and things like that, they come to the Horribles Parade, but they're also maybe coming to, say, Manchester's Parade in the morning, the next morning, and then Rockport in the evening. So the Horribles Parade goes on, even if it's say raining or whatever, as long as it's not severe weather, in which case they have to cancel. For us, we can deal with rain unless it's bad rain. However, one of the things that we have a limit, we cannot shoot a display if the winds are over 20 miles an hour, which is it's significant, but it can happen.
Yeah.
Our rain date this year for the fireworks is the 8th, even though we could normally do it normally we would do it on the 5th, but we didn't want to do that in the middle of the week. Right, it's like, who's going to be around? That's right. So we put it off. So if we do have to cancel the fireworks part, that won't happen again until the following weekend on Saturday on the 8th.
Pat, can you type that in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully the same will go for the concert. I haven't talked to my lighting and sound guy yet, but hopefully he'll be able to do it on the 8th.
You'd be able to do it that way.
We'll just leave the stage set up for the week.
It's not going to happen. We're going to have perfect weather.
I don't never think about that.
We're going to have perfect weather. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. But it's good to know.
Yeah.
It is good to know. So not everyone's going around scrambling.
Right.
And I love the idea of having it on a weekend night.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's special.
Yeah.
People don't have to worry about having
I know it's a great show, and I've seen it, but any inside tip on maybe the best place to go see it? The fireworks?
Well, the best place would obviously be sitting next to us while we're doing it, but that's not allowed.
No.
But obviously all around the boulevard. Actually, this show you'd be able to see. There will be people down on, say, Good Harbor Beach. There'll be people on the State Fish Pier. There's a lot of people over on Niles Beach.
Wow.
There are people there's a lot of people up in the park. On the nights of the fireworks, we keep the restrooms open. And then we close them when we leave at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We close them up. A lot of people are up in, even if whether they've come for the day and didn't even know there were fireworks, or Gloucester people that, once the parade's gone by on the boulevard, they,
Are there any food trucks down there?
There is one food truck that's there. And I haven't seen them yet this year because I haven't been up there, but I'll talk to them and hopefully see if they can, if they stay. And I believe that one is the one that does the pizza.
Okay. Ray Napolitano.
I believe that's the one that so that'd be good for them to stay obviously longer into the evening.
Yeah, but a lot of dough. A lot of dough. Yeah.
Yeah, they could do that. And then we always we've always had over the years the cupboard has supplied us with food and Poseidon's Pizza. But the biggest thing is Mr. Zappa at the
Peter
Causeway.
Zappa, yeah.
Peter does phenomenal. I mean, everybody knows that when you go to the Causeway, you get twice as much food as you could possibly eat.
Yeah.
Well, so I always include for our evening meal of the fireworks itself, we have, I take care of not only our crew, which, like I said, is about 18 this year, but also the police department and the fireworks detail. So I'll say 20 people. So we have food for 20 people, but in reality, it turns out to be 40. But he gives us, we have a chowder. I let him make up whatever is the best fresh for the day. A chowder, a casserole, baked potato, asparagus,
He's
salads.
salt of the
everything.
earth.
And it's wonderful.
The Zappa family are salt of the earth.
Yeah.
They really are. Hold on one second. Michael DeCosta is with Mike, come on in.
Whoa.
What a surprise.
Surprise
Mike.
guest.
How are you, pal?
How you doing?
How you doing? We're live right now.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
The fireworks committee.
Fireworks, yeah.
Excellent.
What's happening?
How you doing?
We're gonna try to light up. So if the rain date for the 3rd of July is it's the 8th.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So wouldn't that be something?
Wow.
Isn't it?
Wow. That would be...
Is there something?
Gonna
Is there
start
something
doing-
else special happening on the 8th?
There's something else happening. That's going on. Yeah.
I actually, you know
I
what?
gotta get over.
I almost that would actually be something else.
Pull a chair up.
You know what?
Yeah, grab a chair.
Whenever the fireworks are happening, it's something else.
It always is. Yeah, get a chair. Are you here to talk about something?
No, I was here because
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Sit in. Why not? So this is going to be fantastic. All right. So, anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, I want to add one more thing.
Go right ahead.
Little surprise for the 4th of July parade. About a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I put in a request for the Wienermobile, which is now called the Frankmobile. And they said, great, we're going to be in the area. We'll be there. So they're coming for the parade.
that's awesome.
And I asked them after if I could get them down on the boulevard for a couple hours, just to park in front by the stage, by the concert, so kids and everyone can go up close to the thing. And they weren't.
You don't want them too close to the wieners.
No.
You can't.
Hey,
Well, there's
listen,
gonna be,
wait.
It's going to be sausage, pepper, and onions. Not hot
there you
dog.
go.
I got to tell you something. We're on our streak of 4 podcasts in a row is alive of words that we're finding out that have been canceled.
Yep.
We found out 4 weeks ago that you can't say Indian.
Well, the rest of us already knew that a long time ago, but you just
So Pat, we have
Yeah,
you
wow.
knew that one.
we have Indian. We have
the
Jimmy's.
Indian is the one that talks to you on when you have a customer service phone call for some business that you're signed up for on the phone call. When you call, that's an Indian.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Right.
So we have
Indian.
Indian.
We can't say senior citizens.
Yeah, you say elder. And senior
really?
is out.
Yeah.
Senior
The
is
mayor
out.
corrected.
Really?
Yeah, see, he didn't know.
No,
See, all right.
I didn't know
You
either.
didn't know.
Didn't know
You
that
didn't
one.
know. We have to say elder. We got corrected by the Gloucester
Can't say
400.
Jimmy's.
You can't say Jimmy's.
What if they say sprinkles?
Yeah.
It's sprinkles, yeah. You gotta say sprinkles.
Yeah.
And then the last one is
Pat.
you can't say
Wiener.
Wiener.
Wienermobile.
Yeah, the Wienermobile is now the what?
Frankmobile.
Frankmobile. All right. The streak is alive.
Yep.
Well, I thought it was sausage mobile. You said.
Yeah, well, that's as far as I'm concerned, the sausage,
Yeah.
peppers, and onions. Is what you know.
Yeah. We'll put a little Italian flair on it.
Yeah.
A little Italian flair.
As
Well, that's great.
soon as it comes over the bridge.
Yeah. Speaking of Italians, we're going to bring in one of Gloucester's finest Italians right now, Big Tom Brancaleone. We promised you we were going to have a special guest, and he's there.
There he is.
He's got a. There we go. Okay, here we go. Watch, he'll come right in.
There
There
we
he
go.
is.
Big Tom Brancaleone, how you doing, pal?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Best time of the year, right here. What did you think of the festivities?
I think we had a fantastic fiesta. Everything was beautiful. The weather held out. The greasy pole was great. The races were great. And but before we get into that, I wanted to thank you two guys, Barry, on everything you guys do for the city year in and year out. It's really appreciated. I know a lot of people in the background, you don't hear anything, but we know what's going on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Tom, all week long they were talking about that it was going to rain, we're going to have thunderstorms and everything else. The crowd on the beach was out of this world this year,
especially with that tide.
Yeah.
No,
It compressed the crowd right up in tight, but unprecedented. We need to speak to Flaggate, and I want to hear you.
Nailgate. There's already T-shirts out. Nailgate.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right? So, Tom, I want to hear your input on this, and what do you think was the determining factor on this unprecedented number of times that the flag didn't fall?
Based on close-up pictures of it, Tommy Vavaza puts the flag up. He's putting these 4 long spikes. They're not thick, but they're long. Okay, so when they grab it from the top and they pull down, they're pulling the 3 of them out, and the last one.
That's what happens. The last one gets.
See,
right on
Nailgate's right happening right here live.
Maybe he's talking to his grandchild. Pull my finger.
Right on cue.
Someone's trying to keep the truth down.
I know.
That's what's happening right now.
Yeah. Tinfoil hat right here. Tom, restart and come back with us, Tom. I don't know if you can hear us.
I just figured they must have, Building Center only had ring shank nails this year.
I thought that they screwed him in or something.
Oh God.
Oh, Tom, come back with us, Tom.
I'm gonna take him out and then. Oh, there you go.
That's the signal. I'm sorry.
There we go.
You're back, baby.
Okay,
we were
here, Tom.
We were here.
We lost you at the last nail.
Yeah, you said you had 4 nails in the last nail. Yeah.
When they're pulling it down, the last nail just bends. The 3 get pulled out, and the last one just bends, so it's almost like holding you up. But the fact that it happened 3 days in a row, I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
That was kind of crazy. Do you think that added? I think that added a little drama to the whole thing.
Yeah, people like this.
Could you imagine? I mean, could you imagine what's going through that kid's head? They're staring up. Like we've seen it in the past. That guys have come close, and the emotion, and they're smashing the water. They're screaming, and they can't believe it. They fight all year long for years and years to be a greasy pole champion, and they get right there. And then it's hanging right above their head. What emotion that must be.
Well, the kid, the Hopkins kid, showed some class there because it was actually.
Oh, goes again.
Oh, Tom, where's your connection? I'm gonna take him out, bring him back. See if this works. Oh, Tom, I need a better connection, Tom.
Oh, he knows it, so he's going to fix it.
Yeah.
On his end.
I think he needs to close all those other windows. If he has any other windows open, he needs to close them. We'll see if he starts moving around in the background.
Well, this background information is very interesting. So I hope we can get him back.
I know. I really like to have Tom join us back.
But just what he was saying too, absolutely. The guys in the water. All looking. I know that some of the guys were trying to bounce the pole.
Oh yeah.
they wanted it to fall, but
so here's the thing. There's a tremendous amount of people that absolutely adore and love the Fiesta. We grew up with it, and it's just a huge part of it. If you watched it for a number of years, you know that being a greasy pole champion, that walk, Derek Hopkins' walk. It doesn't happen by accident. Yeah. These guys, this is internal. He
grew up with a pole in his backyard,
right.
walking from the time he was 4 years old.
That's right.
It's great.
His father, and it's absolutely. This is an inert thing because there's guys like Mike Forget, a good friend from over the bridge. Mike Forget, 15 years. I read his Facebook post. You could reading his words, how heartbroken he was, and how much he's coming back year after year for this thing.
Yeah.
Tom, you're back. We got you, Tom. Is he jammed up again?
Maybe he didn't turn his mic on.
No, he's not.
No, he doesn't look like he's moving again.
Damn it. Maybe I could call
Tell him to turn his camera off and just see if he can get audio.
Oh yeah, that would be good. Yeah, Tom, maybe just try with the audio. But that is not like Mike Forget, strong kid, is built well and stuff. Let's see. Tom, see if you can try just the audio. Turn off your video.
I keep losing the signal, Joe.
Oh, there you are. You're back. Yeah. And can we talk about the races? There was a chance for how many years has it been for the the men's senior men's that there hasn't been a repeat champion?
The last one to repeat was Chaos, and I think that was like 2007 or something. And the amazing thing is they haven't even won since 2013.
Right.
So that crew has been rowing for 10 years without winning, and credit to them, they stick together.
Unbelievable, yeah.
64 years old next year.
The three teams that were there in the end were all,
veterans.
A lot of veterans, a lot of guys that know exactly what they're doing. Paul Gigalone, heartbroken. I talked to him this morning. He was looking to repeat. Didn't get it done, but no shame losing to either Chaos or the merger, right?
Yeah, no, Chaos, got to give them their day due. They came out of the ashes. They've been 10 years with nothing.
They had a kick.
How many people? Do you know how many people ask me, do these people train all year long? Tom, go through how it works, when the boats get put in, how long they get to train, and bring them right to Sunday. What happens during the week from the eliminations? Give people a play-by-play how it works.
I'll probably lose you in the meantime, but back in the day, back in the old early days, it was just fishermen in from fishing, and they were seiners, so they were in shape for rowing already. And then in the 70s, it started changing to crews that were put together that weren't necessarily fishermen, and these guys were in the gym. And starting back in the early 70s with the Mean Machine and the Kids and those crews, they started the whole working out thing with they call it the Concept 2 machine that they got in all the gyms.
Yeah.
And they had competitions in the wintertime as who could get the high score on the Concept 2 machine, And they put their heart and soul into it. And that's where the game really changed, like in the mid 70s.
Yeah.
It became more technical.
Right.
Yeah. Before it was just get in the boat and go crazy,
Yeah. Now you want a little trivia?
Yeah.
Those boats, those three boats, when they were brand new, replacing the others, they came from Shelburne, Nova Scotia. And who brought them here? Ringo, myself, and Joe Novello. We towed them back from Shelburne, Nova Scotia here, brought those three new boats here.
Yeah.
And that's 10 years ago now?
Oh, longer than that.
Is it?
And that's where we get the tree every year for down Kent
Shelburne,
Circle, from Shelburne.
That's right. Yeah. And the nice thing about having those boats is before these boats, there were boats that were absolutely waterlogged.
Yes.
That if you got that boat, you knew
you were winning.
Tom, am I right? Like if you had
they were wooden boats.
Right.
Yeah.
They were wooden boats. These are fiberglass.
Right. So it's more of an even competition.
They weren't identical boats. This boat came from this fishing boat, and that one came from that fishing boat.
Oh, wow.
Some were a little bigger, some were a little smaller. Back in the old days, we used to have 4 guys rowing on each side. Now it's 5.
Yeah.
The way we designed them. So, back in the old days, nobody wanted the Nina because the Nina, the bottom went like this. And even these boats, they had a problem with it. They just fixed this last year. They spent over $90,000 fixing those boats, these new ones.
Yeah, because they didn't have like a channel underneath and the water was sloshing around.
The water was getting stuck inside and making one of the boats really heavy, the Santa Maria, I think it was. So you knew if you got the Santa Maria, you were in trouble.
Yeah.
But now this past over the winter, they fixed them or last year.
Yeah.
So now they're even again.
Tom, can you give people an idea? Because some people, the St. Peter Fiesta Committee and the St. Peter's Club are two different identity.
2 separate entities, yeah. It wasn't always like that. Back in the old days, they were all one. But at some point, I think probably back in the 60s or 50s, they became two separate entities. They kept it separate. There's the St. Peter's Fiesta Committee, and there's the St. Peter's Club Board of Directors. It's two separate things.
Can you give me some of the names of the people behind the scenes that don't get recognition but make Fiesta what it is? Because it doesn't just happen. You don't just like with Ringo and Ali. It doesn't you don't just snap your fingers and all the parts fall into place.
All those guys on the Fiesta Committee have their own jobs to do. And some are more visible than others, like you guys know. Tommy Vavaza, the sporting events, the greasy pole, getting the pole grease, and the coordinating the walking list, which is a big hassle. and Michael and Quarters got the parade is his thing, but there's a lot of people that help in the background. All the women that help in the background. They used to be putting the pins together, making the pins, and the novena and the religious part of it in the background that you don't see. You just see what's down the fort, But back in the day, there used to be a party in everybody's house. St. Peter's Town was like St. Joseph's almost.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing a great job. The Fiesta Committee is doing a great job. It's not an easy thing to coordinate. And then you got to worry about weather, And
Tom, can you explain? Because a lot of people don't know. Explain who gets to walk on Friday, how they get on the pole, who gets to walk on Saturday, and who gets to walk on Sunday.
Usually Friday hasn't been going on for that long. I mean, I don't know exactly, but there was such desire for people to walk the pole. There's so many kids that wanted to walk the pole, they had to add another day. Because you can't have 100 guys in one day, it'll last all day. So they started Friday, and they made Friday for the younger guys that really had never walked before. And if you won on Friday, then you get to walk first on Saturday. And so the Friday guys start filtering into Saturday as the guys at the end of the list, the old guys, start dropping off and retiring. Yeah. And then if you finish first on Saturday, you walk first Sunday. So you see that the
explain
walked first because he won on Saturday.
And if you could explain the proteges, how that works.
Proteges is people that are walking for a past champion, either that can't walk anymore or has passed away. Right. And there's plenty of those. And a lot of times it's a relative, or someone will say, I want Phil Verga. Phil, can I walk for you? Can I get your permission to walk for you? And if Phil sanctions it, then they'll say, walking for Phil Verga Jr. Or walking for Sammy Pecca Randazza, or walk, you usually you got to get permission from the family.
Right. Yeah. No, I know it's such a special time, and this Fiesta was just absolutely fantastic, and they always are, and I'm just so thankful, and it makes me so. I think it makes a lot of people proud to live here, right? I mean,
there's a lot of people that say, I'm getting out of Gloucester for Fiesta. I can't stand it. All that traffic, all that blah, 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 blah. I'm 65 years old, Joe. I've never missed one.
No.
I live on the boulevard. I've never missed a Fiesta, and as long as I'm alive, I never will, because I come from a fishing family. My father always got brought home safe from the storms. You know what I mean? It's like it's in my blood.
Yeah.
And I would never leave Gloucester for Fiesta.
No, I can't. To me, I think it's the funny thing I always point out, a lot of these people all year long that poo Fiesta, and then you see them down there and they're in the thick of it, doing the Viva chant. Yeah. I'm like, where were you 6 months ago? You know what I mean?
Or even 2 days before.
They drive me crazy.
Yeah. Now that Fiesta's over, it just goes away. Before, actually, for over 20 years, I donated all the grease. When it was the real grease that went on there. So the guys today say after, whether it be Mr. Hopkins or all the rest of them, for 3 or 4 days later, they'd still be covered in blue because they couldn't get it all off, no matter how many times they showered.
Absolutely.
But then they wouldn't let them use the real grease anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I used to get into it with the Coast Guard, and they asked me, they said, we can't have, it has to be biodegradable. And I said, it is. It's petroleum. It comes from the earth. They didn't buy it at the end of the day.
A month later, you'd be swimming down Pavilion Beach, and like a little kid would come
glob of blue,
glob of grease on his arm.
No question about it. So some years, if the Sunday of Fiesta is on the 30th, then you really have a couple of days, and then it's the 3rd.
Yeah.
So we had a debate at the coffee shop this morning. What do you like better? Do you like it when the Sunday of Fiesta is early? The closer you have a little space in between, or do you like it better when it's right at the end of the month and you hop right into the 3rd? Tom, do you have any feelings on that?
I like it both ways. I like this. I don't mind the parties running into each other, and then I don't mind them being separated either. You get a little time to prepare for the 4th of July and the Harbour's Parade.
How about you guys?
I think, it's fine for me either way, but I think you'll find one of the factors that probably does go for separating them is the city. The city employees, if you think of that, the police department, the fire department, and especially the DPW, the work the DPW does cleaning up, people have no idea whether we are all slobs or what it is. But if you look at, say, what the boulevard looked like or downtown, looked like at 1 o'clock this morning, and then you drove down there at 7 o'clock this morning, and it looks like nothing's ever happened. These guys are out there all the time. And again, I think when you have the two of them really close together, those people are so, they're so done in.
Yes.
People, you talk about behind the scenes, those are people that are.
It's going to be next year. Next year it goes out to the 30th.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So back to back, quick.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Pat. On point, Pat. Right
Today
there.
we saw.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, Tom.
I got a greasy pole story for you.
Let's go, baby. I love it.
Phil Kookaroo. He's probably in his 70s now. He's down in Florida. Back in the late 50s, he was a good greasy pole walker. And he won 2 years in a row. Phil Kookaroo. The 3rd year, all the guys in the greasy pole got him. They tied him up to a chair in Tengali's cellar so he couldn't walk.
That's true. I never heard that one.
And he tried to break out. He couldn't get out. Someone else won. And then the next year he came back and he won again. You look at the all-time champs, you see Phil Kookaroo, someone else, and then Phil Kookaroo again.
Tom, settle it for once and for all. Who was the best greasy pole walker of all time?
It goes by era. I mean,
Salvi, Peter Black, Fontero,
I would
Hopkins.
say Peter Black. Peter Black is the best. Salvi got to walk both days, Saturday and Sunday. So he obviously has more wins. If you let Peter walk Saturday and Sunday, he'd have 20.
Yep.
Peter was just unbelievable. He had the arms.
Yeah.
The balance, unbelievable. This kid now, this Hopkins kid, has the potential. Oh my God, is he good? He makes it look way too easy.
Yeah, and you know what? We looked at we were analyzing the pictures this morning, and his winning walk, there was usually, as the pole goes on, they knock the grease off, right? Yeah. He was walking through grease. Yeah. His feet, every step, he was going through 4 to 6 inches of grease all the way to the end of the pole.
Just like he was walking on cement.
That's right. That's right. And I did notice, Tom, at the end of the pole, when we analyzed the tape, that there was a disc, and it looked like it was about 3/4 inch thick, and a round disc that they put right on the end of the pole. They probably, because all over the years, the end of that pole gets soft, right? Mm-hmm. So I wonder if that had a little something to do with the hang-ups too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, definitely.
Can I share a picture of the heartbreak you were talking about?
Yeah. Okay, so wait, we're gonna stay right with us, Tom. Pat's gonna share a photo.
That's yesterday's Alex looking up.
There he is.
Yeah.
Look how close to that.
That's about.
Oh my goodness.
That's about 2.5 feet from his nose, right there.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing I was going to tell you, Joe. The Hopkins kid, the first time when it was hanging down, he could have reached it. It was hanging low enough that he could have reached it and pulled it down. But he did it. He said out of respect for all the guys on the pole, he didn't do it.
Oh, that's. I didn't
He
know
didn't do
that.
it. Very respectful kid, and they put it. But he could have reached up and pulled it down.
Yeah,
It was
and you know, we've lost the sheriff, and Matza was always, you know, he was there like with Salvi to make sure that
he
things
kept
were
order.
done by the right way, and he got his name when someone grabbed that flag when they weren't supposed to. Or was that on the courtesy round, I believe, right?
I remember it well.
And they went out onto the. They were Salvi and Anthony went after him right down to the beach, and the guy was holding the flag up and one punch. That was it.
Anthony called it a tumbalada.
Yeah, and he broke his jaw and he was knocked him unconscious. One punch right there on the beach.
And then they put the flag back up and finished it.
Oh man, I can't even imagine.
The amazing thing about that Hopkins story is his father did the same exact thing. 20 years ago, his father knocked it down, didn't get it. They put it back up, and the next time around, he got it. Just the same exact thing.
Wow.
20 years later, unbelievable.
1,000 stories of the greasy pole.
Yeah.
Just it's unbelievable.
I know this is unheard of that we had 3 times, but you're saying it has happened before.
This happened. His father, Rich Hopkins is his father. Derek's father is Rich. He's probably a few years younger than I am, maybe 60 or so. And he did the same exact thing. He knocked it down. He stood. You know the iconic picture of Matza holding the flag?
Yeah.
Well, Rich Hopkins did that, just like Matza did. But when he dropped down, he didn't bring the flag with him. It just hung there like it's been doing the last 3 days. And it was the same old thing. Oh, no. Nobody got it. They put it back up. Nobody got it. His next walk, he took it down just like his son did.
Huh. Wow. I just...
And now what'll happen with Derek, because they still have the pole in the backyard. Right. So if he has some kids, another 20 years from now, there'll be another family one to keep that story alive.
Now, Tom, they made a lot of announcements and told us that this was one of the first years that they felt that they had so many kids of Malley School, and younger. Is that something that you're noticing? Is
in the rowing part of it?
Yeah, for the same boats.
Well, from what I understand is that they really made a push at the high school to get the high school kids involved, and that the physical ed department, one of the teachers or something in the physical ed department actually offered a bump up in grade, a half a grade or something if they participated in.
Wow.
And that's why they got 150 kids to participate.
I mean, those. I didn't see the runs during the week, but I heard that they were just amazing too.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some really close stuff. Now, something about they have a draw on Wednesday nights. Who gets to go on Saturday or something?
Well, Wednesday is the senior eliminations, the men's senior eliminations. So the drawing for Wednesday is always Tuesday night before, the Wednesday in the St. Peter's Club, where when practices are all over, all the rowers are in the club, and we sing the national anthem, and then we have the drawing. They pick the heats, depending on how many crews there are. There might be 1 heat, 2 heats, 3 heats, whatever, and they pick the boat and they pick the flag. They pick the flag actually the day of the race, I believe. And that's the drawing. But they have now, with so many girls crews and so many boys crews and girls junior crews, they have to have eliminations for all of them.
Yeah.
But I haven't been involved with those drawings.
Oh, I just know that they have said there was over 100 and I think it said between 130 and 150 kids.
Yeah, between 130 and 150 kids.
Oh, for the juniors?
That's what we were just talking about.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah, but
how about the girls though?
Yeah. And how about look at Chaos yesterday, and there was some pretty young kids in that crew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Chaos yesterday. So they had a couple of. It wasn't all the old guard.
There was a couple, unless they were unless they were 35-year-olds that looked like they were half their age. There was a couple of pretty darn young kids in that crew.
And
Tommy Conrad. Tommy Conrad.
Sure.
He's won in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and now the 2020s.
Wow.
That's
Rowing.
That's pretty
Wow.
special. So
That's
there's
unbelievable.
Joanne Frontero for the women. The women's thing is really taking over too. Those girls train all year long.
Yeah.
Joanne Frontero. Who's some of the other? Gina Gina
Lampassi.
Lampassi.
I named the first girls' crew. The first year they let the girls row. I was talking to Gina, and she says, "We are trying to think of a name." And at the time, the big thing was affirmative action. And I said, "Why don't you name the crew Affirmative Action?" And they did. And they won like the first 5 or 6 years in a row. And every time she sees me, I know you. I saw her last night. Affirmative Action.
That's fantastic. Oh man, what a great time! I'll tell you what. So the other thing I'm just gonna dial back because I had to go take care of a boat. The Peter Black Fontero. Speaking to Peter Black Fontero, he won in the '80s, right? And then he won like 8 in a row, right? And then he won. What was the last one that he got?
2000s.
Right. So I mean, that's a span.
Yeah, over 2 decades.
He was 14
is-
the first time he won. You can't walk at 14 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How old do you have to be to walk?
I think you have to be at least 18 or 20 or something, 21, something like that now.
Who's the best walker that never won one?
Brr. I don't know. There's a lot of guys that that's a tough one. I have to think on that one.
All right. If you come up with one, I want to hear it. Because if they hear their name, it'll be one more thing like a dagger.
Nicky Evans, big Nicky Evans, got his hand on the pole a couple of times and didn't bring it down.
Who was that?
Nick Avalos.
Oh, Nicky Avalos.
The father.
The father.
The
Nicky,
father, yeah.
Jonathan says you have to be 18.
John Goodhue says 18. Okay, there you go.
18 what?
You have to be 18 to walk nowadays?
18, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
That Jonathan Goodhue, by the way, he did a tremendous job announcing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks, John.
The problem was with the sound system.
Oh, yeah.
No one can hear the thing.
It's tough on the boat. To hear it on the boats, when you're watching it, if you're not on the beach, it's tough to hear.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Did you go to the lobster crate thing?
Yes. Yeah.
That sound system you could hear everywhere.
Right.
Clear as a bell.
Yeah. So what are they going to do, Tom? What's the answer?
The answer is to get a sound system that people can hear, like that lobster crate thing. That thing was crystal clear. Whatever they're using now is like.
That's right. No, I agree. Here's another question. We're gonna go around the room. Mudiga steak sandwich or Zazitza sandwich?
I'm a Mudiga steak guy, but I'm not going to turn away Zazitza either.
How about you guys?
Mudiga steak, definitely.
Well, I'll put it this way: if Safati is cooking it at the old homestead, Mudiga steak. If not, I'd go back to Amby's sausage.
The classic. I'll tell you what.
Mom's kitchen down the fort.
Yes, Mudiga steaks. Yeah,
every morning.
Eleanor,
until they run out.
Eleanor and
really
Dave Tucker.
They're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Doing a fantastic
and her coffee rolls.
Yeah, really, really good. So they're
close to
Jimmy. What about you?
Mudiga steak, but again, I would not turn away a good Zazitza.
Unanimous.
Yeah,
Pat. Mudiga.
On point, Pat.
The sausage.
Oh, so she's the one dissenter.
Joe, they all sold out last night.
Oh, last night they did?
They all sold out. The guy that bought Amby's was between the club and the alley, Vigilio's alley. He sold out early.
Wow.
They packed up and left.
Wow.
Jeez.
The guy on the other side of the club, which was the Drift, he sold out a little bit later, but it was almost daylight, and he had no more peppers and onions.
Yeah, he was sold out at 7 o'clock. I had ordered.
Wow.
And it didn't come. And we're sitting there watching. Finally, someone comes up and they give me a hot dog. And I said, "That's not what I ordered. Everything's gone, and this is like there's only 2 hot dogs left." And it wasn't even 7 o'clock yet.
But I was out there hawking. The guy in the Drift was $7 hot dog, $7 Zazitza.
Sausage, yeah.
The other guy was $9 Zazitza, and the Fiesta was $13 says
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now, that was insider tip right there. Inside tip. All right, Tom, this is the first time you've been on the podcast. We got a 2-part question. You and Arlie are going to answer these.
Barry.
Arlie's older brother.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
No. Jesus was a Jewish carpenter. He wasn't part of the family, though.
Sorry.
Not Jesus, but close.
Barry. Sorry, Barry. I know that. I should know that.
You're a man of honor.
A man of honor. That was my failure. Okay. So I can admit when I'm wrong. Okay. So we got that out of the way. So it's a 2-part question. Tom, you're going to answer this. Barry's going to go first, though. Death row sub. If you're on death, you have to imagine yourself on death row. The warden comes in and says, "You got to. We'll get you a sub from any sub shop anywhere in the world. It can't be homemade though. So don't say my mother's XYZ. A sub shop. What is the sub and where is the place?
It would be for sub. It would be Destino's cheesesteak.
We get that a lot. A lot. Okay, and death row meal, a restaurant anywhere, not home cooked. What's the meal? Your last meal that you get it from anywhere, and what's the restaurant?
I don't know. It'd have to be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that they serve somewhere. That would be my last meal.
Okay, all right, but you don't have
I don't have a favorite place. Maybe Two Sisters. I usually have peanut butter in the morning with a cup of coffee.
All right, there you go. Big Tom, same 2 questions. Death row sub. It's sandwich. It doesn't have to be a sub. It could be a sandwich, whatever, you know what I mean? But it has to be from a place.
I used to like Nick's roast beefs when they were on.
Yeah.
And also Destino's, when Destino's sometimes now is hit or miss. But the Destino's cheesesteak, if it's done right, give me one of those. And what's the other one?
Death row meal from any restaurant in the world.
Death row meal, you're going to think this is crazy, but I like a good eggplant parmesan.
What's the name of the place?
The best one I ever had, I don't know. I would say right now Toscana's and Peabody.
There you go.
I'd actually do bolognese from Tono.
Bolognese from Tono.
Very good.
We've had that one before too. Yeah. There you go. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is unbelievable. We got 3 legends right here, and I just couldn't be happier. This is kind of an impromptu thing. Tom, I just reached out this morning. He made it happen. You guys came in, and Michael, thank you. Do you have anything you want to announce before we log off?
Guys got to come down after the 4th, after the fireworks and everything. Starting on the 6th through the 11th, Gloucester Maritime Rendezvous. So. Putting out the I-4C2 docks, 4 signature schooners coming to town, all around the 71st International Dory Race. It's going to be unbelievable. Check us out.
Yeah,
is the Pride of Baltimore coming this year?
Pride of Baltimore, Blue Nose, Columbia, When and If, they're all coming. Our local fleet's going to greet them. We're going to have 3 days of dock tours and some on-the-water chartering, and then Sunday morning, going to all go out for a schooner gam out on the harbor, and out in the outer harbor. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be really wonderful. Let's hope for weather.
Yeah. Give us the dates one more time.
6 through 11.
6 through 11.
Sorry, 6 through 9. 6 through 9. Yeah. The 11 is a separate thing that we're all doing as they leave. Sorry about that, folks.
That was a hell of a...
Yeah.
That's the party at your house.
Exactly, right. That's where I have myself.
And the address is?
That's where I booked my stay at a rest home.
That's
11th.
Yeah, that's a hell of a run.
Frank Gentili said to Tom, he wants him to sing some Sinatra.
Can we get that?
Right,
can we make wait, where is that? Where is that
right
comment?
Right, you just passed it. Up, go up to there.
Oh, right here. Okay. Tom, we got a special request right here from Frankie Gentile Jr.
Love it.
All right, Tom. All right. Without further ado, normally we have Over the Bridge to take us out, but we're gonna have Big Tom Brantley take us out right here with a little bit of Little Frank.
Out of nowhere, huh? The summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long, we sang a song and then we strolled that golden sand. Two sweethearts and the summer wind, like painted kites those days and nights.
Nice job, Tom. Way to go, kid.
The chairman of the board.
The chairman of the board.
There he is.
Brought it home right there.
Oh, Blue Eyes, you did it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget, we're going to have a ball on the 3rd. Come down to the Boulevard. If you get there just before dark, you might be able to score one of these light up things from Ringo. It's going to be synced to the band. It's going to be.
That's great.
And my mother turns 94 on the 3rd. My mother turns 94. She'll be on the front porch.
Oh,
what a show.
Bless her.
What a show.
What's her favorite color?
Lilac.
Okay, all the purple ones are for her then.
There you go. There you go.
All right, everybody. We'll see you. Thanks so much, Tom, Barry, and thank you, Ringo, as well.
Thank you, Joe. You do a great job.
Have a great